Welcome to Titus Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Today is August the 21st, 2025. We're going to be talking about AEW results because, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a lot of things here. We don't have a lot of matches, but we do have a lot of segments. I don't think we're going to talk about every segment that they had, but I'm happy that we get... summer's almost over, guys. Summer is almost over. I know a lot of kids are not happy with that because school starts soon. I think some places school started earlier, but in Canada, school starts in September. So the kids don't like it, but I'm happy because I can stop being hot and sweaty, and it's so annoying. And we get closer to our WWE 2K25 DLC, our second last DLC, the one that everybody wants because you get a New Age Outlaws, D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry, mostly all these guys that's coming in the DLC, and the patch because we got El Grande. El Grande will be my current show people, and I could use them in my independent wrestling as well. I have an independent universe mode. I know you guys don't care about that, but yeah, I do have an independent wrestling. So, and El Grande could get used on there. I could use everybody on this dang DLC. I want to use everybody. Not like the celebrity guests. I force myself to use them for my independent wrestling. But these guys, New Age Outlaws, I have an old school WWE where we have all the people that got released or legends, all these eras facing each other. It doesn't matter if it's this era, WWE right now, or Attitude Era, Ruthless Era, Golden Era. It doesn't matter which one it is. They all face each other. You got released, you're in that show. So I just had Karen Cross in the match and he beat Doink the Clown. Different eras. But like you told, we get New Age Outlaws. It helps my tag team division. We get D'Lo Brown. I could make Nation of Domination. He could put Mark Henry in Nation of Domination. But I think it's the Mark Henry with the long hair and with that song, Beat 'em Up, Beat 'em Up. The one that, I think he is a heel. I think it's the one with the Hall of Pain. I think so. Or if it's old school Mark Henry, it would be like 2006 Mark Henry, something like that. Because in the picture of Mark Henry, when you look at the picture of DLC guys, it will be him in his long hair. Not bald hair, not his Nation of Domination hair, but his long hair. So yeah. But I'm going to be putting my Mark Henry in ECW. I have an ECW show as well. Like I said, it doesn't matter what type of era. I have 2009 guys and 1990s, even 2000s. People like that. And whoever showed up on ECW, who was ever on ECW, I put them on there. So that I have fun with it. I have, if you guys don't know a team called New Breed, I kind of make my own New Breed, but CM Punk is the boss. Because the original New Breed leader is Elijah Burke. I didn't download him. But I got the Straight Edge Society mask, CM Punk being the boss of the New Breed, and in my New Breed is Matt Cardona and Shawn Spears. I didn't know Shawn Spears went to ECW, but his name was Gavin Spears, I think. So I put him in ECW. They had their first tag team match, and I thought it was a great match. Needs a little help, need a little work as a tag team. But yeah. So let you know that I'm happy for that. I'm happy the DLC's coming out soon. The last one, it helps the old school, but I don't know a lot of these guys. I know Cycle Sid. I've seen him in wrestling a couple of times, and I saw him in some YouTube videos. But I don't know a lot about Tito Santana. Is he in there? Let me look it up. I don't know who's in there now. I know Junkyard Dog is in there. Let me look it up, see who's in this DLCs. Because I know this. I know the one that's coming up by my heart because it's the one I really want as old school. So in the old school, we get El Grande, of course. He's going to be part of the patch. But ladies and gentlemen, what else we got here is Billy Gunn. I'm happy for. D.L. Brown, happy for. Mark Henry. I don't know. I don't want to copy. I just want to see the picture, and I can show you guys the picture. I think a lot of people showed it before, but I don't want to do that. I'm trying to make sure we get the whole head of Mark Henry. So this is the Mark Henry, the long hair Mark Henry. I don't know, you guys could, there you go, you guys can see it now. This is the long hair Mark Henry. That's the picture that they show as the DLC. And I think this is the Mark Henry that we will be getting. It doesn't say what year, but that's the Mark Henry that we'll be getting for that DLC. I think that's the Mark Henry because that's what they had with KSI. I can show you guys a picture of KSI. That's what they had with KSI. They had him in a Prime bottle. He's a little more brighter. Had him in the Prime bottle. And guess what? In his model, he's in a Prime bottle. Excuse me. So, I think that's what... every time you see some of these guys in these pictures, I think that's the picture. I think that's his attire he's going to be wearing in 2K25. So it's black and white. I want to say 2006 Mark Henry. But I don't know if he wore black and white in 2010s or 2011 before he got bald. But when he got bald, I think it was like 2015 or 2016. But I don't know which one that... black and white. I think I remember him wrestling in 2006 in black and white. That's what I think. But the last one is Jesse... Tito Santana is in there. We got Jesse Ventura. I know him now because he's doing the commentating for Saturday's main event. Junkyard Dog, I don't know. I know who these guys are. It's just I haven't been these guys. I never know what their moves are. I don't know who what's Junkyard Dog's finisher. I have to look that up. Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, Psycho Sid, he was in 2K games, and Tito Santana. I don't think he's ever been in a 2K game, has he? It shows me on here that he's been on 2K games. Has he been on? No. No, this is his first time being on a 2K game. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I don't mind those ones, but I really care about the Attitude Era ones because I know them more, I know their moves, and I'm more excited for that. But, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about AEW because right now we're almost at 10 minutes and we didn't say anything about AEW. So let's talk about AEW, ladies and gentlemen. We only got 3 matches and a whole bunch of segments. I'm not telling you guys, I'm not talking about every segment because there was a lot of backstage stuff and all that stuff. But let's talk about MJF and Hangman Adam Page. Adam Page came out and he talked about the time that he got attacked last week from MJF in the parking lot. And he's upset about it. And he wants to call out MJF, but he says, don't get too excited, guys. He's not going to show up because he's a coward. That's what Hangman said to MJF. But MJF was on the Titantron with Ricochet and his friends with Mark Briscoe tied up. Because Mr. MJF made a deal with Ricochet that they both had the same enemy, and that was Mark Briscoe. So they made a little alliance. So Mr. MJF had Mark Briscoe hostage, and he says, I won't hurt Mark Briscoe only if you do my 3 conditions for Forbidden Door. And those 3 conditions is that the title could change hands by disqualification and count out, and he doesn't have to use his contract to get his World Championship match. And if Hangman says no to this, MJF poured gasoline onto Mark Briscoe, and he says he's going to set him on fire. And he says you got until 5 seconds to answer, and Hangman says, fine, I will do it. And then, ladies and gentlemen, MJF did not hurt him. But in the backstage, Hangman had a chair in his hand. He sees Ricochet, whacks Ricochet with the chair, and grabs Ricochet, as was MJF. The security guards told Hangman, MJF let Mark Briscoe go, but Hangman wasn't happy. He punched one of the security guards in the face. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Cope and Christian Cage. They will have a tag team match teaming up with each other at Forbidden Door to versus Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. Why Christian Cage is doing this match is because they made a deal with each other, and that deal was Copeland will help Christian Cage with Christian Cage's problem with Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne, and for the deal for Cope, Christian Cage will help Cope with the FTR problem. And Christian Cage was still acting like he's a heel, and Adam Copeland does understand why. But Christian Cage says, we're not on the same page, but we are in the same book that we're writing, and that's what makes it good. And he says, I will be a man of my word. I know that didn't really mean anything the last couple of times, but he says he's going to, you could trust him to be the best partner of Adam Copeland on these 2 deals that they made with each other. And he says, I will shake your hand and I won't hurt you. They were about to shake hands. I think they shook hands. And then on the Titan, there's Kip Sabian. And Mother Wayne comes out and talks trash to Christian Cage. And then they point. Nick Wayne was on the Titantron. He had crutches. And he says he's injured because of what Christian Cage did with Spike. And he hurt his ankle. But he says he's always a step ahead of Christian Cage. We got a video package of a doctor restarting somebody's heart. And that somebody's heart was Killswitch, a.k.a. Luchasaurus. He makes his return, and he attacks Copeland, and then he attacks Christian Cage. He looked like he hesitated, and then he chokes on Copeland, and we heard that Killswitch will replace Nick Wayne at Forbidden Door to face Cope and Christian Cage. We had a face-to-face between Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley. Will Ospreay says he wasn't really medically cleared to be at Forbidden Door. That's why he asked for a lights out. If you guys don't know what a lights out means for AEW, it means an on-station match. And on-station means if something happens to Will Ospreay cannot blame AEW or sue AEW because he got injured. He can't do that. It will be his own risk. And he says he will do it. He will fight. He wants to be like Will Ospreay. If this is the last time that he can fight like Will Ospreay, he wants to be at Forbidden Door. And then Jon Moxley comes out. I don't think he says that much. And then there was a brawl between Jet Speed and Death Riders. and Tanahashi comes out, and then we finally have our trios match. That's a lot of talking. My goodness. So first match of the evening. I thought I didn't burp. We had Jet Speed and Tanahashi versus Death Riders in a trios match. It was a pretty decent trios match, back and forth. But the winner of that match was Jet Speed and Tanahashi. They got the win, and then we had a brawl. When Will Ospreay took Maria Shafir because she got kicked out of the at ringside, Will Ospreay says, "Hello, you're not leaving?" Okay, picks her up and walks away. But when he came back, he had a body bag. And then Young Bucks attack Will Ospreay. And then here comes Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong attacking Young Bucks. And then the Death Riders open up this body bag, and the person that was in the body bag, it wasn't Shafir, it was Darby Allin attacking everybody. And then the Ops came in. We had Gabe Kidd guys, War Dogs, a faction in New Japan Pro Wrestling coming out. We had a brawl with everybody. Freaking Darby Allin doing coffin drops off of the stairwell. Oh my god, a lot of crazy things is happening here. But ladies and gentlemen, that brawl was crazy. But we're going to see what the dang steel cage is all about. Well, next we got Brody King and Bandito versus FTR. And whoever wins this match will face the tag team champions, the Hurt Syndicate, at AEW's Forbidden Door. This match was taking long. Brody King was busted open. He had a red mask, red face. He was bleeding all over his body. Bryan Danielson was on commentary. Taz wasn't there. But ladies and gentlemen, nobody won this match. It was a time limit draw. And Tony Khan made it official. It will be a triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles. Bandito and Brody King versus FTR versus the Hurt Syndicate. What I noticed about AEW, they like to have these multi-man matches. So I already knew that this will be happening because AEW likes multi-man matches. We've seen a lot of 6-man, 8-man, fatal 4-way matches on AEW lately, and I think that's what Tony Khan likes because it gives more interaction and then see all the abilities of these wrestlers. You get high flyers, sometimes you get a powerhouse, sometimes you get a normal fighting guy or a technician, stuff like that. And it kind of gets people more opportunities because AEW has a big giant roster. And they keep on adding with Ace Austin. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not watching Collision, so I'm going to spoil this thing out for you guys because a lot of people have been doing that right now. I've been on social media. I've been on Twitter. I've been on Threads. I don't know that's a social media thing. I just downloaded it, so I don't know what that means. But I hope you guys know what it means. But ladies and gentlemen, at Collision, because they're in Scotland, Island Dawn made her debut on AEW at Collision. That's very cool. We don't know if she's signed with AEW or it's just because they are in Scotland in her hometown. It could be because of that, or she's signed because that's what they did with Ace Austin last week. I think they were in his hometown and he was signed. So I have no idea. We will see if Island Dawn has a new home. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got our main event. We got Mercedes Moné teaming up with Athena. I did not put Athena in my list here. Athena versus Toni Storm and Alice Windsor in a tag team match. Pretty decent tag team match. But the winner of that match was Toni Storm. Not Toni Storm. Mercedes and Athena getting the win. And we found out who is going to be in the TBS Championship match. It's a fatal 4-way match. I'm telling you. Tony Khan likes a multi-person match. We already know Alice Windsor is going to be in this match for AEW side. So as Mercedes. We found out who's going to be in the CMLL side. I don't know their names. I think I know it's Stardom Bozella. Bozella? Something with Bozella in it. So yeah, I don't know who the other two are. I don't watch Stardom a lot. I don't watch CMLL. I don't even know they have TV shows. Do they have channels? I have no idea. I know there's a show called Stardom because I believe Kairi Sane was there. Somebody was there. Julia was there. No, I think it was Julia. I think it was Stephanie McCurr. Before she came to WWE. I think she was in Stardom. I heard the name. But ladies and gentlemen, WWE made their first ever PLE for ESPN in September. It will be WrestlePalooza. I have no idea what that means, but it's a WrestlePalooza that will be on ESPN, and it will be on Netflix and international. So if I want to watch it, I have to watch it on Netflix, not ESPN. But ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty interesting. That's going to be interesting to see. I don't know what WrestlePalooza is. Some people knows what that is. I don't know what that is. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I will see you guys tomorrow for TNA results. Bye. Time is up. Bye.